the time of the past. No sign of a better past. Now it's simply all love. There shall be feelings been with me since I can remember. I know it's just a piece of an echoing test. Here we are in the right of fire, time after time and over again. Time when they did memories we eventually cease to exist. My last and only hope is to go into darker battlefield. The iron road is raining heavily on us without a break. I stand on the edge of the world where no can disappoint me at all. Then I will lead from the sand to last of me just for you. There shall be feelings been with me since I can remember. I know it's just a piece of an echoing test. Here we are on the fire, lately repeatedly over again. And it's my haze reminiscence we eventually cease to exist. My last and only hope is to go into darker battlefield. The iron road is raining heavily on us without a break. I stand on the edge of the world where no can disappoint me at all. Then I will lead from the sand to last of me just for you. We've been found so hard and so long for this ultimate destiny. Even if the other brother is raining heaven without a break, I will have the beach of the world where someone could be joining me. Then I will lead from the sand to last of me just for you. On out of the Frontline.
Hello, everybody. Can everybody hear me all right? Welcome back to Season 3 of GFL Esports. I know, can't believe it. We're doing yet another one. Today, I'm joined by Diggus,
Hello?
Brecky,
Hello.
and Matt.
Good morning.
And my name is Duck. I know it's been quite a few months since the last major event, but we're back here with another esports tournament for dual randomness. And with the new tournament comes a brand new format, and we've got Matt here to explain this for you.
So this week we have a 4-week tournament. Each region has sent 3 players to the competition for a 3-week group stage, which will be scored round robin per the region. The final week will be a bracket stage, where each region sends 1 player, and the seeding is based off of the region scoring. All matches are being played on map 2, with a time limit of 1 hour. This is a no-dupe competition, so no duplicate use of dolls or fairies. There are 3 global bans. I believe those are calculated per round, with 5 specific player bans for each match. This time around, the biggest new change that we have is there are optional objectives to allow for the score, the accumulation of bonus points. Our first optional objective.
Not that one.
Not that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, there's some production difficulties.
Blame the bird. So our first optional objective is called Expansionist and is worth 100,000 points. The objective here is to control various heliports across the map. The goal is to have more than 8 of them at the start of turn 3 and maintain them through the end of the round.
If players are able to complete this, they'll have 100,000 points added to their score at the end of the match.
Yep.
And we have another optional objective today as well.
So Isolationist, which allows for the maximum captured nodes at the end of the match to be 12 or less, and this also scores 150,000 points at the end of the match.
So this actually proposed a very interesting dilemma for the players. So they either want to capture everything, or they want to capture nothing.
Technically, players are able to complete both of them, but it'll be very difficult, so we'll see if they are brave enough to try, and if they don't, we'll see which optional objective they go for today.
Yes, indeed. Speaking of the players, let's jump right into that. So on one side we have World Peace. He came from Korea, and I think he has joined the last tournament, right? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And from the score, he seems quite knowledgeable. Although, well, he got eliminated on the first round, but you know.
Well,
that's fine.
in the last tournament, he showed everybody the proper way to kite, so he definitely knows what he's doing.
Exactly. Unlike us casting here. And on the other side, we have Vars. Right, Ian, let's go. Why don't you introduce him, Duck?
Yeah, Vars is a 1 million plus UID player, so he's pretty new to the game, but already he's got some high ranks under his belt, and he's one of the most prepared for DR in this server. He's written some guides for it, and he's definitely a competitive player.
I remember you have a nickname for him, right, Duck? Before the stream. Is it like called the Thea of DR or something?
Yeah, he's like the Seiya of dual randomness, basically.
Yep. Right, so with new although we have a new format, we still have bans, right? So in this tournament, we would choose 3 bans from the from our side, and the rest came from the players. So our first ban is HK416, a very strong doll itself, and we'll see what the players would try to adapt without her.
Yeah, our 3 global bans are basically targeted for this set of objectives that the players have, with 416 and Rico, both very strong dolls under para debuff, which is going to play a factor here for not only Hole 2, but especially with these objectives.
Right, and the first doll is, drumroll please, KSVK, right, yes. KSVK,
With her node-based skill, KSVK is very strong at defending, and that could play a big part in defending for Isolationist or declogging in general, so she's also banned here to make the players get a bit more creative.
Right, so these are the bans from our side, and let's see the player bans. Right, so World Peace. World Peace can't use Kakarno, Hanyang, Cord, and Weebly, right? Wait, no. Hanyang,
Well, World Peace can't use Grape, Hanyang, Cord, Calico, and M4.
Weep.
And Varus is the same thing with Grape, Hanyang, Cord, Calico, except with Webley. So the bans are pretty similar.
Except for the last one.
Yeah,
so,
except for the last one.
it'll be interesting to see what they would do without these stalls. Right, and so these are the echelons that they will be using, and yeah. Is it you can't change the echelon in the midway, or no?
Nope, the players are allowed to change their echelons during the match as long as they stick to the no dupe rule.
They're also
I
allowed
see.
to change echelons for Hawks if they want to.
Yeah.
Yep.
They
However,
just can't use
changing to
dupes or
yeah.
ban dolls.
However, keep in mind that changing to Hawks means you are getting less score because you're getting less kills. Right, so with all the introduction and formalities aside, let's get right to it. Let's start it, right? I think both players are ready, and if both players are ready, we could begin. Yeah. So
And
Vars
both
has
players starting off at around the same time. But we got about less than a minute of delay for World Peace
Wait, they just
due to
reset.
the Twitch stream. Wow, it
This run
seems
is finished.
Wow, that was the fastest run.
Bars is done pretty quickly.
Well, this. Well, unfortunately for Vars, it is not a speed run, but instead it's a high score. So you can't be the winner of this. I see. Right. So now the both players have been starting, right?
The World Peace is already into it.
Not much to talk about turn 1, so let's talk about the objectives for now.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So Expansionist requires that you. Well, you restart again. Expansionist
think-
requires that you capture at least 8 helipads for the start of turn 3. So
Yep.
on turn 2, you're gonna have to capture at least 4 more helis because you already start with 4. Which means you're going to miss out on quite a few spawns, but you're going to have a lot of AP to declog. Isolationist, meanwhile, requires that you don't capture a lot of nodes, so you're going to have to play defensive and let a lot of enemies walk into you.
I see Vars is having actually a bad RNG because the control node is actually set at the bottom, unlike World Peace which is set at the top. Can
Yeah.
someone explain why is it? Why is the supply nodes spawning at the bottom means it's a bad RNG?
The supply node can spawn at the top or bottom randomly,
Yes.
but everything is the same except for the fact that Dreamer always spawns on the bottom heli at the end of the run. And
Yes.
if you're going for Expansionist and you want to capture all the helis near the supply node, you're going to want that to be on the top side so that you can get the Dreamer spawned on the last turn. And seeing as Hole 2 is a very short ranking
Oh.
map, he has time to do some resets at the start, but if he takes too much time, he's gonna risk running out of time at the end.
I see that he's taking his sweet time. I think it's like his 4th reset, is it?
Yeah.
Dang.
Well, hopefully he doesn't have to reset again due to clogs on turn 2.
Oh yeah, it's like there's so much good things to say about this map except for the RNG, which is absolutely brutal. I remember spending like 6 hours on the first 2 turns. Oh,
Oh.
interesting. World Peace is using Springfield and G36 at the same time or something, so that they could get this extra skill. Did I saw it correctly?
I'm not sure if you did there.
Yeah, maybe it's just me hallucinating. I don't know. I've been working like a 6-day shift, so I feel like close to dying right now. But you know,
The
Tiny
Vars
Hero's
seems to be a
coming.
bit
Still at the
frustrated.
bottom.
It's still on the bottom.
We're getting another reset.
I
He should
mean,
have enough time, honestly.
World Peace right now is clearing out some of these turn 2 clogs to maybe he's I think he's going to capture the top ones and go for the Expansionist objective.
Yeah, I mean, expansionists versus isolationists. Back to the topic. Which one do you think is the better option to go for?
I
'Cause,
think-
like, Yeah.
Expansionist is definitely the safer option because you take less fights and it'll take a lot less time. But since Isolationist gives you 50,000 extra points, it's definitely a more risky but possibly better strat.
So you're saying it's a high risk, high reward objective, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
I
The problem
see.
with Isolationist is, with the depending on the bans you have, if you're not really aware of what teams to use, especially for declogging with parachute debuff, it's gonna be risky to reset a lot of fights. But if you have the skill or the knowledge to make a team that can pull it off, it's gonna be worth it.
I see. So I heard that it's also possible to do both. Can you explain?
Well, you need 12 nodes for Isolationist, 12 or less nodes, and you need 4 helipads for Expansionist. So if you give up the supply line on the final turn, you can get exactly 12 nodes. You can get exactly 12 nodes and 8 heliports and complete both objectives. But since the supply line gives 150k points on the last turn, it's not really worth going for both because you're risking a lot there.
I see. So both players have actually started a turn 1, turn 2, which is good because Vard is finally getting out of the slump. That is the first turn RNG. And both players are about to go into the slump. That's the second turn RNG. Oh god.
Yeah, they're both dealing with those extra questionably intended clogs for the EN version of DR Hold 2. Takes a lot of AP to clear out the enemies in the far heliports, and they're using Paraferry to get over there as well.
Yeah, Paraferry. Well, yeah, go for it.
We're still not sure if Force is going for Expansionist or Isolationist, but if he does go for Isolationist, I don't think he has enough time to reset because he has already 5 minutes in and he's still in turn 1.
Yeah.
For Expansionists, because in Expansionists you're capturing helipads, you're gonna be much faster in your run, and you're gonna have so much time to reset. It's even possible to finish even before 15 minutes.
15. Have
No,
you tried
50.
it?
No, 50, 50.
5-0.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
like,
look at
how do you?
World Peace pace right now, 6 minutes in and turn to end.
Yeah, it's like half the tournament already.
Well, the fights definitely get a lot harder as the turns go on, so a lot of the time allotted is for resetting those difficult fights later. Unless they're, just so good that they don't need to reset them.
Well, that's what Vars is good for, right? Or World Peace is good for. He's
This
pretty good
team
at kiting,
from
right?
Vars is pretty interesting using WA2000 and M14. There's definitely not the most meta RFs at this point in time, but with the Twin Fairy, I think they might have enough staying power to kill those Manticores later on.
Well, as the old saying goes, if it works, it works. So let's not question it.
Hopefully it works.
So, right. I heard. So that you say that declogging, right? So
Yeah.
I heard that Parafairies is one of the most crucial fairies to be used in this tournament, right?
That's so true. You need to Paraferry to go to the far heliports to declog them, otherwise you lose out on most of the points, because most of the points from this ranking comes from the high sea enemies that spawn between turn 3 and turn 4. So if you let those heliports in the back clog up, since you don't have a lot of AP to begin with, you're going to lose a lot of points. So using Para to save AP and declog all of the heliports is pretty much a necessity.
World Peace clogs right now are harsh. You have a
Oh yeah.
enemy at the far left and the far right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if we
ba-
look at World Peace right now, we can see that he's got those Dragoons all the way in the back. So it's going to be quite difficult for him to declog with the limited AP that he has on turn 3.
So both players are struggling with the declogging, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, declogging is probably the make or break run for. Would probably make or break a run in DR, especially for this hole, because, well, as you can see, the ranking map is so short that, you know, these clog would hurt a lot, and, you know, as you say, that the stronger enemies that get more points will spawn later on. So if it's clogged, then it's not gonna spawn, which means you're getting less points.
Well,
which
not
is,
only is it possible for enemies to spawn in a bad position, it's also possible to get unlucky spawns, because the difference between the highest point value spawns later on and the lowest point value spawns is upwards of 6 to 8k points. Is that right, Brecky?
For what turn is that?
For the turn 4 spawns between the Nemuums and the Manticores.
You missed a 0. That's 70k.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh no, 70k CE and 6k 7k points.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, so it's pretty brutal. I mean, but the Neumiums are considerably easier to be to fight than the 25 Manicore spawn.
Yeah, I mean, as always, the lowest point value enemies are the hardest to fight because this game is difficult and unforgiving.
Yes, the Dark Souls of gacha games.
I mean, the good thing is that with such a small and short ranking map, it's definitely possible to planning mode basically your entire turn, and you only have to really worry about kiting for each fight.
Would it be faster to, you know, to do a planning mode, or would it be faster if you just do it manually?
Doing it manually would probably be faster, unless you forget what you're doing, but...
So misclick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean... Yeah, you could put Arcus and, like, accidentally press the end turn instead of the execute plan.
That's always a possibility. But the map isn't long enough to have to worry about time that much for this esports.
Yeah, but because the map is so short, one single mistake can actually cost you the game.
Yeah. Well,
Luckily we're 10 minutes in, so they can still, you know, have time to reset.
a little
So far-
spoiler for later, the bracket stage of this tournament will have a shorter time limit to put a little more pressure on the competitors.
Ah, yes.
Right now it looks like both competitors have captured the 8 heliports and are going for the expansionist. Vars isn't quite there yet, but he's got his echelons in position to capture. Yeah, as you can see, Vars is surround capturing the topmost heliports to get the 8 heliports required for the expansionist objective.
Now both players are now actively going for expansionists, as long as they don't lose the helipads, which shouldn't be that hard unless they accidentally miss an enemy near the command
Vars
post.
is
It
closing
should
his
be
game.
easy.
Why is that?
Honestly, I'm not sure.
Huh.
Client diff.
Yeah, it's probably a client display issue.
I see. And looking at like World Peace map, it looks like he's in a bit of a pickle here. Look at all these clogs. Oh boy.
Yes, so much enemies near the helipads.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Well, he knows he has enough time, so World Peace is spending a lot of time planning out his exact route before he executes it. He's been on the same turn 3 position for quite a while now.
Unironically, you could reset this point.
Yeah, with
If
about
it's this hard,
with about 40-50 minutes left, there it's definitely possible to reset and start
Yeah,
over.
Well, I agree. I mean, sucks that like.
Oh, it
and-
looks like Vars is doing just that.
wow.
Restarting.
I mean, it's justified, right? Because like, even for me, if I see a bad like, you know, enemy spawn, I would still I would still reset. But you know, unlike me, I have like, which have like plenty of time. Vars only has like, you know, less than 50 minutes. Wait, less than 50, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, a
So-
full, well thought out
Yeah.
run can take about an hour.
Started at
So
the bottom.
if they're fast, they can definitely do a run in 30 to 40 minutes.
And he's back into the turn 1 slump again.
The curse.
He does.
Oh,
he definitely
no.
doesn't have time for another reset. So
Yeah. Oh, Vars has to, you know, make haste, or else he might actually not gonna finish this run. But
As long as he gets good spawns in turn 4, smile, hopefully.
it's
maybe.
easier said than done. Right?
Just avoid manticores, you should be fine.
Have you played this map before, Brekkie? Do you know how hard it is to get a good RNG spawn? And even that, still, there's still the human factor of making mistakes when you kite. Ah,
I love ranking.
yeah, same. Oh man, it brings back memories, like when I first started ranking this map. It was fun. Like the reset is actually pretty forgiving for like players like me. But yeah,
You guys
it's-
only had one clog. We
Yeah,
can get 3.
the fights now are easier with all the new equipment and new collab dolls and stuff, but
Yeah,
the actual
like-
map is harder because you can get much more unlucky with the spawns and the clog.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I mean, like, look, Ian has it easy when like it comes to kiting, because you guys got like new dolls like LTLX, which we don't have like back in our days.
World Peace is finally starting, by the way.
Yeah.
He figured it out.
Well, we got through about a quarter of the time limit, and World Peace is definitely on pace to easily be able to complete his run. Vars should be fine, but he can't reset again. I don't think he has the time.
I mean, yeah, he's on a pretty tight time crunch right now, from what we can tell. Let's just pray that he has a better RNG than
We will die.
World Peace.
Weevil's dead.
Weeb is dead.
Yeah, I think he's gonna keep this
What is
fight
he
actually.
thinking? What is he thinking? Wait, is World
This-
Peace not gonna reset?
I mean, this could just be a team that he's gonna retreat, but still, this is
Yeah.
a pretty scuffed fight.
Yeah.
He's using the
It's
new
still-
collab doll Piccola from the Jashin event, which is very good against the later turn enemies that all have armor, but against this early turn enemy that doesn't really have evasion or armor, it doesn't do nearly as much damage as some of the other options, such as NTW. Well, it doesn't matter for him because he retreated and redeployed it immediately.
Yeah. Also, it
Hopefully
works
that's
on a
only the case against unarmored enemies, and hopefully against manticores he should be fine, but
Yeah, well,
after
generally,
seeing that,
the armored enemies are balanced around having to penetrate their armor, so a doll like Piccola that can ignore their armor does very well against the armored enemies.
Yeah, so it works on World Peace's favor. At the
Yeah,
end.
he planned that he wouldn't have to reset that fight because he knew he was going to retreat that
Retreat
team.
it, yeah, in one fight. But like, isn't that a bit wasteful?
Well, you're gonna have to do a lot of retreating and redeploying on this map anyways, because the AP that it takes to go all the way to one of the far heliports and then walk all the way back is definitely not worth it because you're gonna run out of AP. So you're gonna have to do retreating and redeploying anyway if you want to clear all the clogs, which is definitely worth more than the 1500 points it costs to retreat and redeploy a team. Although, later on in the next few weeks, when we start to show the other objectives, you might have a harder time retreating and repairing.
Wow, that's a bit of a spoiler,
Wink,
isn't it?
wink, nudge, nudge.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But yeah, I mean, if I were World Peace, I would have just para and then take like 3 or 4 fights before retreating. Because like
Well-
you can see that there's a line, like there's a conga line of enemies.
Yeah. But it's
yeah.
pretty rare that that happens. Unlike Polarized Light, where you're gonna have a easy to declog line of enemies every turn. In DR, a lot of the enemies are gonna be very spread out. So if you want to clear all of them with one team, it's gonna cost a bunch of extra AP.
I see.
And it
Vars
definitely
starting
looks
his
like,
turn
yeah,
too.
it definitely looks like Vars is going for the same exact strategy. The thing about Expansionist is, since you're capturing 2 sets of helipads, on turn 2, you don't have to declog the enemy that's on the far helipad, even though you'd normally have to do that on a standard ranking run. Since you're going to capture those helis and they're not going to spawn enemies anyways, it's totally fine to just let the clog stand there. World Peace right now is having trouble with that fight yet again.
That guard
Again,
almost went
same
through.
enemy.
I think he's going to have to reset that. Yeah, there it goes.
Yikes.
Meanwhile, Vars with the taunt fairy can pretty much AFK this same enemy.
Yep.
But
Vars
I gotta
is
say, the 4-Shiki NTW team might have trouble later on against the Manticores.
But
It seems like World Peace is a fan of Dorothy as well, Brecky.
Oh yeah. We win. I don't think NTW is gonna have a problem though. Most campers who doesn't need to
Oh
parachute
yeah,
don't
that's
have a
definitely
problem.
gonna be a reset for World Peace there.
that's the second reset for World Peace. I mean, luckily he has like plenty of time.
Yeah, but that team is having a lot of trouble early on that MP5 doesn't even have enough time to pop the Force Shield.
Yeah, and like resets has actually cost way more time in like EN than in foreign servers because we have the new clients, which we have a reset button installed in our game.
Okay.
Holy shit! It's like 2 years too late. Oh my god! Why didn't you add it like 2 years before, Mika? Please.
There's
Well,
a
on
loading
the
fail.
EN client, on the
loading
EN client, the reset button takes 2 years instead of waiting for 2 years to get the button installed. When you close and open the game, you might just have to wait for EN to catch up with foreign servers before you're able to log back in.
I mean that's true.
Though of course, if one of the players does have a major technical difficulty, they'll get time added to compensate so that they don't have to lose based on, well, perhaps internet connection.
Oh, true. That's the fifth reset from World Peace.
Yeah, it looks like it. This client is having all sorts of problems lately, especially on iOS.
Yeah. While Vars is just chugging along.
Yeah,
I think
Vars is soon gonna catch up with World Peace here.
Yeah, I mean, it looks
Hopefully
like
it
he has
loads.
pretty good spawns. Yeah, and he ends in pretty good position where you can camp the enemies. Oh, and speaking of camping, this might or might not be in our future objectives, eh? Because
Depends.
camping actually is a big part of the whole 2 experience. The good old
The legal
2
team would like to remind you of the NDA.
Yeah.
Oh, it looks
mean,
like World
look-
Peace is getting back into it now.
Oh. Yep.
Never mind.
You shouldn't have said anything.
I shouldn't.
That's
I won't say anything from now on.
Yeah, this is why I didn't say he's gonna be fine, because Chester's fucking cursed.
I
they
was
screwed it
uh,
up.
I was praying.
Did
I
you know
mean,
that
look,
this player is
Vars is,
perfect on field goals so far? Oh no.
And in this rate, Vars may actually catch up to World Peace. But luckily, we still have quite a bit of ways to go.
Yeah, we
So,
got a
yeah,
lot of
don't
time
worry.
left.
Don't worry.
And if you think these fights are hard, just wait until they have to fight the 25 Manticores.
Oh yeah, that's 25 minute course. Yeah. Yeah, it looks like there's some technical difficulties within the KR side of things. And kids, and this is why you don't use iOS for playing GFL. Because things
Well,
like
the
this
good
happen.
thing about playing on tablet or phone is that you can kite a bit easier with
Yeah.
using all
And
of
that-
your fingers.
And as I quote my our good friend Apple in Discord, fucking iPhone, fucking Apple.
You know, back in the day on SC and PL, actually iOS client was a bit faster, but now with the new
Yeah.
client, it seems to be the opposite.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like the golden age of iOS.
We will be adding time to World Peace's timer to compensate for the technical difficulties, because it's
Yeah.
not his fault that his game won't load.
Yeah, it's not his fault for spaghetti coatings.
Vars is almost done with his turn now, I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
Looks like it. So now all he has to do is just pray for good spawn, and
Yeah.
that's all he
It's already spawned. This is the
Yeah.
enemy turn.
yeah, and all he has. The only thing that he needs to do, which is yeah. So looking at his team comp, it's actually quite interesting. He's using the very traditional HGR combination with a MP5 slapped on it.
Team
So,
feels
MP5.
so isomer.
Yeah, MP5, one of the best mods in the game, probably. Yeah, up
Oh.
until like very recently. So
Look at the
can you tell us more about
clogs.
it? Oh, these clogs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
pretty
gotta
strong.
go to the very back for all of the possible heliports.
Oh,
I'm
it's-
sorry for
that's
interrupting,
not
but
glitchy.
are
Yeah.
clogs like this possible back in the other servers?
No.
When
Oh
you
yeah,
guys
no,
had
no,
DR?
no. It's worse. Trust me, it's worse.
Wait, I'm sorry. It's what?
Worse.
Worse.
They
Worse.
they patch this?
No,
Well, they changed it so
They
that it's...
changed it. It's not even patching. Look, Mika codes things by like rolling a dice. Sometimes you roll a 6 and sometimes you roll a 1. Okay?
So Ian rolled a
Hot
1.
take. I love
No, you roll a
RNG in
s-
ranking
you
maps.
roll like a 6. Okay? In terms of like enemy, you know. Wait, actually, yeah, no, 1. They roll a snake eye. Fuck.
I'd like to point out, next time he uses that team that he was just fighting with, Romod can tank enemies even with the para debuff really well.
Yeah.
This 4 Shiki team is pretty good against the scouts.
Because
The
ignore.
sure hit. Yeah.
Yeah, the sure hit really does help.
Oh, also, I'd like to mention that World Peace's timer is paused right now, so
Yeah.
these resets are not hurting him. Well, it might be hurting his soul, but it's not hurting his timer right now.
Yeah, it hurt his spirit, but you know, the run still stands.
This declog from Vars on the left here is going to cost most of his AP for this turn just to clear out that side.
It's gonna be one spawn miss. One
Yeah.
turn 3 spawn miss.
I don't think he's going to be able to clear out everything here with 10 AP. He's definitely going to have to retreat and redeploy the parachute team.
With this RNG, he's potentially missing 17k points.
Yeah, possibly.
Very unfortunate. Vars has to think very carefully on what he has to do right now.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a lot of time left, but it definitely doesn't have time to do another reset, so he has to make the best of what he has here.
Yeah, looks like Vars is still having like technical difficulties. Oh, so Vars decided to retreat 2 of his squads. Hello?
Yeah, he's gonna redeploy the para team to get one of those clogs.
Yep.
Not sure about the other retreat though.
Well, while we're waiting, let's talk about some other stuff. What stuff I don't know. Right, let's talk about the teams that they've used so far. So far, we have.
Oh, Vars is deploying 2B now instead.
Oh! That's a bold move. Wow.
What?
But that's. Wait,
And he's
Why would-
replacing the para with Beach.
why would he want to do that, though? You want para, right?
Yeah, I don't know about this one. I would definitely want to use the para.
5 teams
Yeah.
is definitely optimal. I would
Yeah.
assume he's like not confident with the teams he's facing for turn 3.
Yeah.
Because I can't imagine 4 teams and 1 Hawk to be better than 5 teams without needing any
And
Hawk.
he just deployed Echelon 1 without repairing it first, which is a bit head scratching.
Yeah, it doesn't cost any points to repair before you deploy, but I mean, I guess if he's gonna retreat that team after only a few fights, it doesn't matter, but I definitely would have repaired it beforehand.
Yeah, let's hope that this doesn't bite him in the ass at the end.
So I do want to announce that I think the client is today's big winner.
Oh yeah, that definitely. Sure
Yeah.
down.
World Peace has had to shut down his device to reboot it.
Really?
Yep,
Yeah,
he's
if you notice,
doing
there's a
full
white box at the
computer
bottom. He's
restart
doing a
there.
full. He's doing a hard reset.
Oh no.
He's reset the fight. He's reset the game. Nope, reset the device.
He's back. He's loading in. He's ready.
Guess who's back?
Don't,
Back
don't,
again.
don't jinx him.
The legal
Well,
team
this
would like to
M4
remind you
the
that copy
Enfield team
strikes
that
are a
Vars
thing.
is using really reminds me of the old CT double Jupiters.
Oh yeah.
You know the gun sounds were much better back then, am I right, guys?
Oh, don't remind me about it. I miss those guns down. Why would
Well,
like
World
Peace
Peace
is
is
back!
finally back in,
oh,
and his
oh
timer
hell
is
yeah.
finally started.
And he's getting this over.
It doesn't seem to have helped his dolls tank that fight, though.
If Brecky Duck, if you're world peace, what would you do?
I would think long and hard about
Uh.
whether I want to use that team for the rest of the run, to be honest. I mean, he
But
still
you-
has plenty of time left, but that team is gonna have a lot of problems.
Again,
That
it-
Hekpala was pretty good, right?
it
Yeah.
might be good later on, but we'll just have
Yeah.
to wait and see.
It should be really good later on, but right now against these dragoons and scouts, the team is getting melted. Now let's pause World Peace's timer until
He's
he
in
gets
turn
back
two.
in.
To turn 3 and
Looks
4.
like we have another. Oh no.
No!
Technical difficulty. Oh no. Oh, what a shame.
Well, this might take a while.
One AP left for Vars. 2 clogs. He won't clear any unless he parachutes and retreats. Potentially, I can't speak. Potentially 34k points missed.
I know it might be pretty early in the morning for you EN guys on the East Coast, maybe, but if you want to look at the bottom left of your screen for that white screen, sometimes you can wake up a little bit better with the free flashbang.
First Manti fight, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's a
25 Manti.
big.
We called them the big boys back in the days.
Oh, that.
It's one of the rankers' worst nightmares, like in terms
The
of
Lee
fighting.
Enfield lost a link here on this Manticore fight. Also,
which
his
is
handguns
lame.
got eviscerated.
Yeah, I mean, both players have made some hair-scratching decisions.
Let's see if
Well-
World Peace can survive this fight this time. He's giving MP5 more time to get the force shield up, and also the iframe as well.
Nice casting the Force Shield blade to make use of the entire iframe.
Yeah. The timer
And,
for World Peace is going to start a little bit later to make up for the lost time from the resets earlier. It should be accurate once the timer restarts.
I see. Oh, so Brecky, can you explain what is the iframes that you've talked about?
The
Ricky?
iframes for the links?
Yeah.
Giving me a hard question.
The
So-
only yeah, go for it.
Dolls have HP, big HP bar. When
Yes.
it reaches a certain point, I have no clue what percentage it is, but it's
30.
the
30%.
slightly higher up bar in the visuals.
I see.
You'll see the damage art for the doll, and within that, few frames, your doll is completely immune to any damage.
So you're saying if I'm good enough for at kiting, I could exploit this, iframe in order to cheese my enemies.
Exactly.
Right. So,
Especially in
so-
debuff fights, you're gonna have to
Uh-huh.
use like
You
all
have
of
to use all your
all of the
iframes.
iframes.
sometimes.
So it's like Dark Souls, but like instead of rolling, you have
Well,
like.
it's like having a mini force shield on each of your dolls, but
with the cost of losing.
yeah, with the
most
cost
the
of
legs.
the doll losing most of its health, and of course you can only use it once.
Don't
I
use
see.
a DPS for iframes, by the way.
Uh,
Unless you have to.
You
Or you're
usually you
planning
want to
to
use
retreat
your
the
you want to use handgun iframes because handguns don't have a lot of HP, but they can still tank for the like 1.5 seconds with the iframes. Some handguns that are commonly used to use for their iframes and para debuffed comps are like P22, Calico 416, and some other handguns.
I just want to point out that the enemy Vars is fighting right now is the same enemy that clogged the heli a while ago, and it still hasn't moved, so he had to spend extra 2 AP to get there.
Yeah. Also,
Yeah,
Vars
man.
had only one Nemuum spawn, I think, on this turn, which is pretty unlucky.
1
In
out of
terms of
6.
score.
2 clogs. Sag.
Well, at least he's on turn 4.
Yeah, but look
Fortunately
at
for
Peace.
World Peace, he finally completed
Oh.
that fight.
Yeah, World Peace map is clean.
Yep.
He's gonna have more spawns. If I'm gonna take a guess who's ahead, it's probably World Peace.
Yeah, they're both pretty good on time, but World Peace might not get such unlucky spawns.
Yeah, and
Since both of them are going for expansionist, they're both gonna have an equal amount of score added to the end. So basically, what you see is what you get in terms of score. Whoever ends up with the highest score in the game is gonna win.
So yeah, interesting. And with Vars actually using a 2B instead of an extra echelon, then you have less teams to kite, which means less kills
Yeah.
and less
Well,
points.
if you can play the map correctly and get all the spawns, it doesn't matter how many teams you do it with. But with the very unlucky clogs that he has right now, he's gonna miss some of the spawns.
I would have to disagree with it. Even with better good decision making, I think the difference between having a hawk and not having a hawk is actually making a big difference. From
Well, I've been
past experience.
I've
Yeah,
been
that's-
thinking for a bit, and I think maybe it's not that bad because you've captured 8 helipads, right? So you're only fighting 8 enemy helipads. Because the enemy is not that much, you can probably sacrifice 1 echelon for a hawk.
Let's see.
I
And
think
speaking
the
of
big
which,
problem here is no parachute.
Yeah, no parachute is definitely confusing because it loses him a lot of AP every turn.
and speaking of which, we can finally see the full glory of Pekkola. Oh
Yeah, we
my
should
god,
be able to see that. No.
he's dismantling those manticores, which gave the foreign server a lot of trouble back in the day. And,
Yeah, I mean,
look
some of the dolls that destroy the manticores that we banned, like Rico, KSVK, and 416, are pretty well replaced by dolls like G11 Mod and Pekkola.
yeah, and actually
Armio.
we haven't talked about the banned dolls. Like, why are these dolls banned? Like, both players have banned similar dolls, except M4 and Weebly. So
Well,
let's go
actually,
through
the
first.
thing about M4
Right.
and Webley is that Webley is pretty instrumental in the M4 Exodia comp, so banning Webley makes that M4 team not really usable and relegates M4 to being more of a Grenadier type doll instead of solo DPS. So the M4 and Webley bans are actually pretty similar.
Well, to be fair, M4 is instrumental to M4 team too, but
Yeah.
you have a point. But let's go through it one by one. Grape, why? Grape.
Well, Grape,
because-
Grape
Go for
and
it.
Hanyang and Cord are all the top tier picks for clearing out the Manticore stacks and the Nemium stacks.
You can go back to PL for this. This is very
Yeah.
similar bans.
And Calico is just really good for a lot of the fights here. Slowing down the enemies gives you more time to kite them. And especially with the earlier enemies that World Peace had some trouble with, Calico does a lot more than the other dolls in terms of giving you time to kite them.
I see.
Also
Yeah,
for
but,
the
like-
Dreamer fight, if they do end up fighting Dreamer, Calico makes that fight a lot faster.
And like, not to mention, well, although you know, Grape, Court, and Hanyang has been banned because they are strong, they are banned for like different reasons. You know,
Yeah.
for example, Grape was banned because of the one-shot capability, right? But Hanyang and Court was banned because the penetration was actually very well in area for mobs, right?
Yeah.
So
For like
yeah.
the Manticore stacks and the Nemium stacks, Hanyang and Cord tear through them because they can pretty much ignore the guards and kill everything at the same time. But Hanyang's actually pretty painful for like the scout fights because she doesn't really do that much DPS compared to Grape or a normal rifle.
Yeah, indeed.
Nice. I want to
Yes.
interrupt your discussion. Vars got 3 Nemwim spawns.
That's
Wow,
pretty
yeah.
good for him.
Yeesh.
That's so good.
I think he's definitely gonna be caught up now in terms
That
of
should
score.
make up.
It appears that as of about the 35-minute mark, estimating for World of Peace's score, it looks like it's actually much closer than we were expecting.
I mean, World Peace actually has a lot of Nemiums on his turn 4 as well. There's 3 of them there, I think.
But there's also like a big amount of manticores.
You also have to worry about the final turn camping, of course.
Oh yeah, man, don't you remind me of the Dreamer fights I had. So back in the day when I was doing it, I have like a 2-link Weebly and then like a 4-link MP5, and it took me like an hour of reset in a Hanyang Exodia squad to get the fight right.
I remember
not that
watching.
bad.
I remember watching
It-
Seiya stream DR back in the day as well, and he also
Yeah.
did a Dreamer fight with an RF team, and
Yep.
it took him so long that he ended up just doing an entire new run instead. Well, here's the 2B Dreamer fight from Vars here. And
Wow.
he
Wait,
also
That's why
has
you
an
bring M4.
he also has an RF in this team, so his movement.
That's why you bring an AR.
I mean, I think he might just retreat Lee Enfield to walk
Yeah.
up faster.
'Cause,
Or yeah,
you know,
he's doing it.
There we go.
I wonder if he's gonna do the old SC speedrun strat and walk his dolls around in order to delay for cooldowns. If he does, that would be really cool and based and smart. Never mind.
Well, I mean, look, Vars is pretty new to the game, so he may not have known these kind of tricks before.
He's
So
not doing that bad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the fight's still
he's doing
fine
very
though.
well.
M4
He's doing
Exodia
very
is
well.
one of the best comps for this fight. The only thing that would be really better would be a Calico RF team, but of course Calico's banned.
Yeah, which is unfortunate. But
Clear
you know,
just needs to dodge some shots.
Yeah.
yeah. You just need
The
good
reason
RNG.
Calico is really good against Streamer is that it speeds up the RFs to the same movement speed as the other dolls, which means you don't have to walk up for such a long time.
42 minutes. 3
That's-
Nemwim's Dreamer final turn.
Also,
That's
the
actually very fast.
well, that's it.
580k.
582k for Vars, and since he completed the expansionist objective, 100,000 will be added for 682k.
Those 682k was his final score.
18 minutes to spare.
Nice. Alright.
So Vars has completed the expansionist objective
Expansionist.
instead of the isolationist one, and now we're just waiting on world peace. So Vars got the left objective and failed the right objective, but I think isolationist is definitely harder. Yeah.
Yeah, it's much harder, but it's much more rewarding. Let's just put it like that, right?
The objectives should be the other way around. Is that right?
Yeah. It should be the other way around.
Pass and fail. I didn't realize that's 2B on World Peace as well.
And World Peace is also using the bond skill with G36 in Springfield, which is
Yeah,
cool.
I've said it in like the beginning of the match, and you guys say, "Oh, I was hallucinating." Or
Look,
something.
all I see before was the white screen.
You're blind, okay? From the white screen.
The iOS
He
flashbang
still
got
has
us.
2 clogs. Oh, it's final turn.
This is final turn. He's got enough AP, I think, to clear these out. You see his
He-
Echelon 2 is camping in the good spot. If you camp at the bottom heliport, there's a chance that the spawn from the other heliport just walks away from you. Just like in SC on the final turn camping when you're calculating like 33% chance to get a fight there. So it's much better to camp on the top heliport where the other enemy that spawns can only walk into you.
He's gonna have 1 clog. I don't think he has enough AP to clear that.
The final turn camping is actually even riskier on Isolationist because you have to camp in the bottom heliport in order to not capture that node. I think, yeah, he's definitely going to miss one of those spawns, but he should get the Dreamer fight with Echelon
Parachute?
3.
No parachute.
No para, but moving his Echelon there gives it a chance of catching that spawn.
By the way, did we mention that World Peace has used 2B also?
Yeah, we just talked about it.
Yeah.
I guess
And then
both of them decided that the easier fights make... Oh, he missed that spawn with Echelon 1, which is unlucky.
Oh no, he want to gamble, but that's unfortunate.
But yeah, I mean, he ran
Oh,
out of AP, so he had no choice
yeah,
there.
especially if the Numium one, the Numium could ran up and they didn't, which
That,
is very unfortunate.
I think-
subtitles.
I think both of them
Yeah.
should have gone for more aggressive parachute usage in order to get more of those fights.
Yeah, but at this point, can you really excuse them? I mean, it's this map is very RNG heavy, and
Yeah.
they might just want to go for the just want to go for the easy way out. So
It's interesting to see, though, that now that we have G11 mod, we have an alternative to M4 Exodia in the G11 Exodia, which also does so much damage. But it's single target only, but still.
that's the first time
It's
I heard
ridiculous.
someone say G11 Exodia. Honestly,
It might not be the last time we see a G11 Exodia in this tournament.
This is Liu. This is G11 Liu.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
Liu got
G11
retreated
Liu.
for the Dreamer fight.
so it's technically still
Okay,
not
that's
an Exodia. It's
fine.
like a
I don't think that counts, but okay.
I mean, like, would you call Vars like Dreamer team an M4 Exodia when there's Lee in it?
It's a
I
double
know.
Jupiter.
It's the scuffed double Jupiter. World Peace
Terminology.
is pretty unlucky with the spawns on this turn 4.
Yeah.
I don't think he's gonna
100%
have enough
could
points.
played better, I think.
Yeah, I think both.
It's the lack
players
of
have-
parachute.
Yeah, I think both of them could have played better, but
Yeah.
still, for the first match of esports, with the limited preparation time they have, it's still very impressive.
Yeah.
Well,
By
we'll
the
just
way-
have to see what the score ends up being for
Yep.
World Peace.
When I say they could have done better, I'm not saying I could have done better because I would have clearly failed this map.
Oh yeah, me too. I mean, my teams aren't even set up.
So which one would you prefer to do? The mini game in Nightmare mode or this?
I love
This-
the minigame.
Minigame is too hard. Well,
558.
World Peace with 550k, and even though he also completed the objective, which adds 100k, he's still gonna be behind Vars here.
By 30k. About 30k.
Yeah, so
So
there's
Vars
about
wins.
the 30k point difference,
Force win.
which I think is a combination of some of the lower score points, lower score enemies, but also because of missing one of those fights at the very end with the
Bar
suboptimal.
Ian won. Ian won.
Yeah, team one with the suboptimal camping spot lost him about 20k points almost. Or potential 20k points.
Yeah, both players made some very questionable moves.
Wait. Yeah, actually, never mind. Wait, look at the captured nodes for World Peace.
Hang on, wait.
What?
Did they actually finish with like both Isolationists and?
I think he
what?
might have.
We'll
Yes,
have
he
to-
did.
Wait,
He
We'll have
did.
to look at the.
That's 12. It does say 12.
Yeah, because he
Oh.
has 12 nodes, which
Holy
means he has.
I read it as
the
21!
Yeah, he has the
Oh,
isolation.
He does. Victory goes to world peace. Yeah,
Yeah.
correct. Victory goes
Yeah.
to world peace.
Yeah,
What?
with him completing both of the. Well, even if he didn't get the expansionist, because he completed isolationist, he'll have
He
the
would've still
victory with
won.
the extra points.
wow. Oh my god. Yeah,
I need to
so-
watch the VOD. What was the movement there?
Yeah, we'll
I
definitely
don't
have to go
know.
back and see, but also the future players
like-
can use that.
but like,
as,
How is it
Turning
12?
from, like- Oh,
I
but
think
turning
you.
from like loss to win was a big brain move from World Peace.
Yeah, I think he must have gotten one of the nodes recaptured at the end.
Yeah.
That's huge brain, honestly. I thought he had a bad placement for the final turn camping, but it was actually genius.
Oh, wow. Yeah. But yeah, wow. What an unexpected turn of events.
That's a
So-
huge plot twist. guys.
Yeah, nobody would have thought that like they would go for isolationists from the start of the round. So which means that they must have seen that, oh, this might not work. We might have to adapt to, oh, let's try both objective, you know?
Yeah.
I don't think any of us saw that coming, to be fair with you.
No, honestly, nobody saw it coming.
We were handed the wrong envelope there at the end. We pulled a Steve Harvey.
Yeah, basically. I mean, from before, I thought it was like practically impossible to get both, but this madman
I thought-
actually did it.
I thought it was like a tank bowl, like all in all, but like the end just shocks me.
He cut off the supply line. We have the images. We have the recordings. He ditched the supply line.
He ditched the supply line just to get isolationist. Oh my god!
Supply
That's
line
so
doesn't exist.
That is so unintuitive. That is so genius. Oh my god.
That's incredible.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I didn't think the first esports match would be so crazy, but here we are.
Yeah, wow. That was a great start, I suppose.
And don't forget,
And-
tomorrow's match is also using these same objectives. So I wonder if tomorrow's two players are going to look at this and realize, oh, we've got to go for both objectives as well.
Oh, well, shit. Now we have to go
They
for
need,
both.
the enemies need to cooperate for this.
Oh wow. Yeah, like we've been saying in the start of the stream that both objective to be completed is extremely hard, but yet here we are. Wow. It's just
This
like
was-
we are. It's like our
The
casters
objectives
are like.
was planned, so it was impossible to do both.
They outsmarted not only their opponent, but also the tournament organizers. I mean, it was
Yeah.
totally legal. We just didn't expect that he'd be able to pull it off, and he did.
Yeah, like
All right, let's
this.
Let's take
Just
a look
like,
at
you
how
know,
he
the cap-
managed to actually get the isolationist objective at the very end.
Yeah, we got the exclusive screenshot, so. For the
Wait,
very
we have
moment-
instant replay now?
Well, I don't know about instant replay,
well-
but we got a
It's not
Instant-
replay. It's more like a
Instant
frame.
screenshot.
instant MS Paint
It's-
artistry.
It's VAR. I got it.
Yeah.
No way.
Well,
No
we can
way.
see through this very well drawn image that at the very end he gave up the supply line. He didn't worry about the supply line in order to.
Look
get
at how the supply line
12
was
nodes.
formed at the start. It went
Yeah.
through the helipads.
Went all the way around.
My God.
That's so huge, brain.
Oh man.
There is a supply line.
So do you think it's a fluke or did you know?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely not a fluke. I mean, oh yeah, actually, my mistake. He didn't give up the supply line. He just connected it all the way around in order to have less nodes used.
The enemy
Yeah.
captured a one node in the supply line. Well, no. Yeah. Wait. Yes.
He just connected the supply line in a way that it used less nodes than the standard strat, so he still got all of the supply line points. Otherwise, he would have fallen too far behind at the end with the supply line loss.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh, that is captured. My bad. Colorblind moment.
Yeah,
I'm still
definitely
speechless.
he definitely had this plan all along to use this strat. I mean, he
No need for Nemwems.
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely
he
planned.
deserves the win. I mean, he overcame
Yes.
not only his technical issues but also the poor
The
spawn RNG by
yeah.
simply having a better strategy here.
Hmm. Yeah,
Well,
but
I think that's about it for this first crazy match. But
Yep.
before you guys go,
Mhm.
don't forget tomorrow, same time, we're gonna have a match between Ciari of JP and UU of CN of the same map and the same objectives. So they're both going to see this, and maybe both of them are gonna try to do both of the
Yeah.
objectives for tomorrow.
Yeah, and make sure you don't miss out by clicking the subscribe and clicking the bell
Yeah, click that bell.
Hit that little bell.
and
Scroll
subscribe button.
down. You might think you're subscribed, but you're actually not.
Give us a
Surround
thumbs
cap
up.
that like button. Rate it
Give us a
5
thumbs up. You know.
stars.
Yeah.
All that
iOS
stuff.
client was the carry.
And spam pills in the chat so that for the engagement, you know.
Yeah. Well,
Right.
we'll see you
So.
guys tomorrow, same time, and hopefully we'll have less technical difficulties next time. But thank you
Oh yeah.
all very much for watching the
Fucking
first
Apple.
match of
Fucking
Esports.
iPhone.
Yeah.
Fucking Apple. Fucking iPhone. Let's go.